What do you think can be done to save the youth in the community?
Man, so when I jumped on, I heard y'all speaking about parenting, right?
Yes,
So a
sir.
lot of people in our community don't know what parenting is. For us, when we had kids, we mimic what our parents do, and also I know that some of the negative things that we seen our parents do, it's like I'm never going to do that, right? But you never the kids who haven't. Well, I'll say there's kids that's having kids, and they don't know how to be an adult and separate the kids from the adult. So for me, just seeing, watching social media stories and people's posts from back home, and even here, I'm in DC. I'll tell you, I teach in DC. The last 2 weeks of school last year, we lost two kids to the streets to violence. Right, 116 and 115. One was over a girl and one was over some street beef. Right, so I lost two kids less than a week apart in the streets of DC. So that's every day. That's everyday living for the kids in DC. So when it's back home and I hear about it, I'm just like, our town is small. So I'm sorry, our town is small. So it has to be something that's a disconnect between the parenting, and it can be I wouldn't blame it on the music, the culture, the drug shift, where our kids are experimenting with harder drugs. Then like back then, we smoked weed in Phillies, right? Our things was the Phillies. They trying all kind of things. You don't know what people lacing the weed with, or people dying of H every day. So they're experimenting with, I think, more drugs than we were experimenting with. Because you say heroin, we said the white boys did that. That was never in our community. It's like, oh, the white boys mess with the H or the pills. Oh, them white boys mess with that. But it was just always weed. So I think the drug culture shifted, and it just frying brain cells where kids don't even care no more. And also mental health. Mental health and trauma is big. You never, when a kid go home, you don't know what that kid goes through, and that kid got to carry that weight. What 13-year-old kid have to carry the weight of, let's say, being physically and verbally abused every night, or seeing sexual assault in the household, and they're carrying that, and one wrong word can trigger that kid to do something violent because that's the only outlet they know of. So we have to look back at mental health as something serious, and our kids do not know how to carry the burden of trauma, and they don't have no outlets. And if they don't have love at home, like, let's say, all of us here, if we go on a block, an old head say, yo, get off the block and go home. We don't get that no more, right? Because if an old head see that you have potential in life, this ain't for you. Go home. Or I'm gonna call your parents. I know who they are. Or I'm gonna take you home, right? Or just be like, oh, Miss Vinny, know you outside the block? Nope, I'm going straight home. And it's like, Mom, going to the store. Go straight to the store, get back. Don't make no stops. That was the respect we had for our parents and our grandparents. But now it's just like these kids don't want to go home because there's probably too much trauma in the household. And dealing with my foundation, I give a lot out under the radar when it comes to feeding families. And you'd be surprised, if that kid don't go to school that day, that kid might not eat. So if a kid is not eating, then the balance is off. The chemical balance is off. And it's like, he stole a piece of bread so his family can eat. But you're looking like, man, why'd you steal it? Well, I need to eat. And you go to the kid's house, there's nothing there. So that can cause a lot of trauma, and these kids are just probably taking it out in the streets, and they're getting love from their homies in the streets. So that's how I see it. But like I said, what have we done to save? What can we do to save the youth? I think more mental health, more outlets, and more people who are coming home from prisons to speak into these youth and let them know that you don't want to give 30 years to your life to a cell.